an Egyptian reaching the landmark in record time, along with raw talent bursting onto the scene. Speaking of bursting onto the scene tonight, we are back yet again, the FPL Addicts podcast, and this time for your Gameweek 15 edition. Here we go, and as Rev would say, let's Ladies and gentlemen, good morning if you're watching it from the Oceania continent. Good evening, wherever you might be watching locally, or wherever you might be in between. Good afternoon to you. Welcome to yet another edition of the FPL Addicts podcast. One lot of midweek games done. However, we got it turned straight into a weekend's lot in itself. And tonight, I'm joined by the usual, back in his own studio, with a beautiful microphone hanging down from the sky being the limit. It being the Rev. Hello, and you're a big enjoyer of assist points.
I am. You know me, Chaza. I'm a guy who tries to look at the positives in life. You know, I might have captained Haaland, but he got an assist. And you know, when you are a person like me and you are getting those crumbs from under the table in terms of FPL points, you know, those FPL points are few and far between for me this season. I've got to, look at the positives where I can. Captain Haaland got an assist,
Love
it. I'm dying inside, everyone. I'm dying inside.
I was going to ask how your week is, but it sounds like you're dying inside.
I'm pretty much dying inside. Yeah. Hello to everyone in the chat, all of the usual suspects as well. Gary, welcome, mate. Miriam, much love to you as always. The force of positivity that is Miriam. Colm as well, off the back of a beautiful Fulham victory as well. Oh, yeah. He's got to be in. He's got to be in high spirits. But Chaza, you were there at the game.
I was
at the Fulham game.
I had the utmost pleasure waving goodbye to Brighton fans after they went 3-1 down. So where the seat was, it was the very last seat, and then there was the away actual tarmac, and then it was Brighton fans. So that's kind of how it was, but. I know, yeah, the timing of the stream is a bit unusual for a Friday night, but you've got to have to get going somehow. I thought Fulham played quite well, but it seemed that Brighton dominated possession for a majority of it. But speaking of majority of this podcast, we're certainly not talking about that game because we've got to crack on to how our podcast members went. And look, as per usual, we'll start from the bottom.
Oh, my days. It hurts to look at. Look at the kip of that, folks. Be gentle with me in the chat, guys. Please be gentle with me. God. 10 million game week rank.
Oh.
And the thing is, if you look at my team, it's not even awful.
No, it's not awful.
It's just Danny Welbeck got injured, so he was a little bit of a differential for me. Nick, Captain Zach as well, returning in the chat. Always good to have you, mate. But yeah, so this is my team this week. Bone was going to get an absolute haul, but Chaza also brought him in, so I was cursed. Cursed in the chat. Bruno Fernandes as well, just being a little bit, against that Arsenal side. He was always going to struggle a little bit. So it's it was a little bit tough. I think the thing is, the way they played, I thought it was going to be quite an open game, but because of the way what's the new manager name?
Ruben Amorim.
Yeah, Amorim, the way he set up, Fernandes was playing really deep, and it was actually quite concerning. He didn't even have a single shot on goal, not a single shot on goal. So maybe against tougher opposition, he's going to use Bruno Fernandes in quite a deep role which might be a little bit telling. I'd rather he was playing in one of those two, attacking slots. In is it like a 3-4-2-1 that he plays? I think at least that's how it looks. At least that's how it looks when we're watching the game. So Bruno, a little bit of a concern, but Bowen doing awfully. Again, clean sheets don't really exist, or do they exist again now that Liverpool and Arsenal seem to have found the ability to defend? But yeah. So guys, that's my team this week. But you know what? I've got to stay positive. And speaking of positive, we've got Captain Zach. Oh, that's Nick again, still in the chat. And guys, we've got some FPL royalty in the chat right now. It's Mira.
Yes.
Mira. You know what my favourite part of the podcast every week is, Chaza? It's checking on Mira's rank. That's my favourite part. Like, I wanted to win the whole thing, mate.
Yeah.
I am Team Mira. Like, I am absolutely rooting for her because she absolutely deserves to be doing so well this season. But we'll get onto her team in a little bit. But anyway, that's my team. Nothing to really write home about other than Captain Haaland got some points. Woo! Finally.
Yeah, you have it. Well, before I go to mine, you're very welcome, Mira. Is there much of a weather report going on, or get more into that later?
It has been raining all day here in Liverpool, but it's been quite light. The weather feels still and cold, which is never a great sign. Usually when it's quite still, it means that something's brewing here by the Mersey River. So, yeah, I'm not saying that the game is definitely going to be cancelled tomorrow. To be honest, it would take a lot for the city to call off the whole game. And at the same time, it's the Everton-Liverpool derby. This is the biggest event in the city. Sorry, I've just been absolutely roasted in the chat. Gary says you get more points on a Tesco club card. Gary, you're a savage.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh, ruined.
Oh,
absolutely ruined.
The new stadium too.
What's the roof's like at the stadium, Rev? Made of cardboard, mate. This was supposed to be the last derby at Goodison Park before we move into the brand new stadium. So, it's going to take a lot for it to get cancelled, but do keep your eyes peeled, because if the game does get cancelled, guys, and Salah doesn't play this week, guess who's got the best captain this week? This guy. In Erling Haaland.
Yeah. You're
just saying.
There. I like it.
Yeah. He still exists.
Yeah. That's sick. Love it. Well done, Rev. Top stuff on the review, and thank you guys for the Tesco Club Card sledges. Here's mine. Better, but could have been a lot better. 60 points, and big highlight was the stuff up on the captaincy. Going fancy was not a good idea, but the big difference, jamming points for Morgan Rogers in place of Nicholas Jackson, but Mikalenko was the star of all people with a lovely 11 points, and I've had him since Gameweek 1. That's the first time he's returned on field.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, I feel like I'm making some all right decisions, and then you just come in with the Mikalenko double-digit haul, man. What am I supposed to do against that? How am I supposed to predict that Everton are going to not be terrible? I'm an Everton fan. Everyone watching, I'm an Everton fan. Don't touch us with a barge pole. We're not worth it. We might have just won 4-0. We'll get beat 4-0 this week. Watch. We're not worth it. And the week after. It's not. And then here is this gentleman, Chaza, who is reaping the rewards of not just starting a player for 2 points like every single other defender, but he's getting literally a third of my points from a player he shouldn't even have in his team. I can't do anything, guys. I've got nothing, Chaza. I've got nothing.
Oh, I know. Don't know what to say these days. Rev, when it came to rotations this week, what was it a big surprise in terms of seeing how the amount of players that did miss out and some notable names?
Yeah, I think we're always going to get this over the course of the over the festive periods. We've seen with what's it called, with Man City, we've got players like Doku coming back into the lineup. We've got Gvardiol being brought back into the lineup after being unexpectedly dropped this season. In terms of Liverpool, like their attackers are going to be in and out of the lineup. But we do have Diogo Jota injured at the moment as well, and so Cody Gakpo looks really good. But obviously not returning this week and subbed off at a few minutes. We are going to see a lot more rotation for sure. But what about you? Any big surprises for yourself?
Pedro Porro, I think, because he was the fifth most transferred in after the City game. Nicholas Jackson I wasn't particularly surprised by because Enzo Maresca has a lot of options. Gabriel not featuring was quite intriguing. However, I thought Arsenal coped quite well.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of
probably
about it. And these are the game weeks that are important to have a bench.
Yeah, it really is. It's one of those where the pricing is so tight, it's hard to have anything good on your bench. And I know a lot of people, speaking of benches, they benched Morgan Rogers this week as well for that cheeky 8-pointer. Yeah. Fortunately, he was only one of 3 players to return for me this game week as well. So, yeah,
to the public
sadness
league. Very briefly, it is still Tom up the top with a 20-point gap, followed by Bill Stewart, who actually does have second place in front of Ben Franklin of 23 points. Rev, heading to this weekend, there's a lot of derbies going on. We're about to go into the fixtures. What are you expecting from, let's just say, fantasy players in general? And actually, Morgan Rogers is an interesting topic because he's at home to Southampton. For those that own him, is it worth fielding him or benching him?
I mean, they're playing against Southampton. They're statistically one of the worst defenses in the league. If you've got Morgan Rogers, you play him. It's as simple as that. And it's so easy in FPL to look at the price tag of a player and think, oh, that's just determining their value or determining their worth. I think I was guilty last season of benching Cole Palmer several times for some of his points because he was 5.5 mil, and I was it was the old sunk cost fallacy there. But yeah, anyway, are we going to get on to my favourite part of the podcast where we look at Mira's game week?
I think this might be it if I've got the right page.
Yes, there we go.
All right. I'm glad she stuck around.
A few good slots.
Okay,
61 points, just above average, but...
let's just see. Well, I just checked her tweet before. She's had a minor red arrow. So I didn't want to get your hopes up, Mira. Apologies. 4,679. Robinson was really good last night at home to Brighton. And then
cracking player. You know what? And yet another player that Everton let go. Just saying. We've got a few there.
Pedro got the assist too. Can I just say about Balaba's goal for Brighton? He did the sickest cartwheel in front of me. It was so good. And not even that. The pitch invader who ran across the entire length of the pitch flipped the absolute bird to Brighton fans. I think that was majestic as well.
Incredible.
It was like a Man ball at the Etihad.
Yeah. Love it. Yeah, so Mira says Mbermo is going for hair this week. Who is coming in, though, is the question.
I think that's a really good discussion point, because Mbermo, in full agreement, he's an obvious sell, because you've seen his stats, 1 shot in the last 4 game weeks, I'm pretty sure. And he's at home to Newcastle, which I believe is actually still a good fixture, but it's actually a really good fixture for Johan Visser too. I think he could bag a couple of goals.
Mira says Anthony Gordon is coming in.
In fairness, he looks good at home to Liverpool. It could be his time of season, along with Alexander Isak. That partnership could be back. They've got good fixtures too. So did Brighton, but do you think with Brighton, I actually don't know where to go now. Because it seems like everyone's sharing the points and Pedro's not showing up when we really want him to. For example, Southampton at home.
I'm going to have a look at some data. Give me a moment.
Do. Go ahead. Chat. Give us some discussion topics, because honestly, 24 hours ago, I was probably celebrating Alex Iwobi's second goal in Gameweek 14, and now I've got to figure out what to say about Gameweek 15. It's a quick turnaround. I don't reckon many fantasy managers are used to this, except for this time of year. I think Arsenal looks good, but Saka got a blank, which is a bit surprising. He really should have returned, to be fair. The strikers kind of haven't. Oh, this is a good one. Bournemouth options. But Rev said this on Monday. He's just a chill guy. Howson, what a great header! And
I'm low key a chill guy, you know.
He is, but that man marking from Tottenham under Postecoglou, we see time and again, is horrific.
I'm looking at Anthony Gordon's underlying data. Mira, this is a great shout.
She's full of good shouts, let's face it.
His heat map is excellent.
Yeah.
In the last game, he registered 0.78 expected goals. By the way, against Liverpool. And then 0.14 expected assists. Got a good couple of shots on, but he's absolutely everywhere for them. And so far this season, he's got an XG of 4.75, but that's out of having played less games. Yeah, this is a great shout, Mira. I think that you're onto something here.
Yeah. Well,
yeah. Excellent choice.
The replacements aren't obvious for Brian Mbeumo, because it seems that when players are hitting form, they tend to go on back-to-back blanks.
Yeah. Well, it does this season anyway. Sometimes it's better to do nothing, but with Mbeumo, you can't really go too far wrong. Yeah. Yeah, Colin fancies a Newcastle away win. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, good stuff.
I think Nathan Collins has been a good defender for Brentford. I think he's had 4 assists this season too.
Colin, just stop trolling me. You're saying he's here and Foden is going to be playing the false 9 role to give Haaland a rest this week. Mate, I'm just going to delete my account if that happens. Fair play.
Actually, you know who's really caught my eye, and he did blank on Wednesday night. Stuart Larson for Wolves, or Wolves in too much trouble at the moment, which they're not really worth our attention.
I think Wolves have got 2 or 3 good fixtures left. And then we need to get rid anyway. So, yeah, Cunha, for me, is going to be in my team for the next couple of game weeks, but then he needs to get shipped out because, his fixtures then turn again.
Okay.
Because he's got West Ham, Ipswich, and Leicester, but then it's United, Spurs, Forest, and then a whole bunch of red fixtures. So yeah, it's not great. And Wolves aren't a great side anyway. Sometimes I look at my team and wonder how 2 Wolves players ended up in there. And by the way, sorry if anyone's a Wolves fan, but you can't hurt me. I'm an Everton fan, so. And I'm not saying that because, Everton beat them 4-0. I don't know how we beat anyone 4-0. But, Everton are pretty terrible. Wolves are pretty terrible.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologise.
No, it's all good. All good.
Bournemouth options, because it seemed Kluivert scored a hat-trick, then blanked. Semenyo was a pick, but it seems that he's faded out. Tavernier got an assist. Is it Evan Nilsson after all?
I think Evan Nilsson's a great option. I think it's a bit rogue. But
it was rogue watching someone fall over 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah, but the thing is, like, you've got to be in that position to to put yourself out there, and the fixtures are good all the way up until game week 20.
Well, actually, I forgot what we were meant to go on. Do you want to do transfers or fixtures next, Rev?
Let's have a look at like what are the tastiest games coming up this week for us to keep an eye on.
We're running on, and we're just talking about Boomer replacements, which is good. I'll just get that up very shortly. So, yeah, great discussion. There's a lot to think about, but it probably seems, is it worth a week potentially, because there's not many big transitional changes to potentially roll the transfer if you're able to?
Yeah, I mean, like I'm unable to because I've got an injured player in my starting lineup, which is annoying, but not a lot I can do about that.
Yeah,
I think. But for me, Palace and City, I've mentioned it before. This is Erling Haaland's time. If Colm isn't actually pulling me leg though, and Haaland is getting a rest this week, which I doubt. I hope he isn't. But Colm, you've made me nervous now. Come on, mate, don't do this to me. I'm suffering enough, Anyway, but that for me is this could be Man City's opportunity to turn it around. They've been having a rubbish time, but so have Crystal Palace. So.
All right. In terms of importance from an FPL perspective, team sheet wise, I think the most important team sheet is Arsenal to see how that transpires. But I think it's Tottenham Chelsea. That's the actual game, because that's a big reading on how Ange's side stacks up against a really good side. Last time out, they did well, beat Man City away 4-0. And then it's Chelsea who are brimming with confidence at the moment.
Didn't Tottenham just lose?
Yeah, but I mean, the last
to Bournemouth, yeah.
Or Bournemouth, the top team. They could be Champions League worthy.
And then the time before that, Spurs drew 1-1 to Fulham.
Yeah.
And then the game before that, they beat City 4-0. So inconsistent is the word that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, Spurs do need to really pull the finger out, to be honest. But yeah, not a lot that they can do.
Yeah,
at the moment.
Are you buying into this, Enzo Fernandez?
I don't know. Let me check him out. Like,
because he got an assist, he got a goal away at Leicester. He scored against Aston Villa, and then he returned against Southampton.
The thing is, like, he's absolutely all over the pitch. Like, he's a proper number 8. He's. I don't think that he's an option, to be honest. So I'll just give you some stats, mate. This season in the Premier League, only the 2 goals out of 1.42 expected goals. He scores once every 440 minutes. So he's always on the pitch, but he's just not always in there, in and amongst it. Goals per game, 1 in every 5 games on average. That's because on average he takes less than 1 shot per game. So in every 5 games, he'll have a shot 4 times. So shots per game, 0.8. And out of those shots, less than half of those are on target. So, yeah, let's not get too caught up in some hype just because he bagged the brace. Yeah.
I like it.
So, yeah, there's some stats for us there. Hopefully that makes us have some data-backed decisions.
Yeah. True that. Transfer trends. Any big surprises?
I don't think surprises. I'm just disappointed that people are taking Haaland out. I mean, I get that people are, getting killed by Salah every week. I'm getting killed by Salah every week. But Erling Haaland, he plays Crystal Palace, and
that could
they have been poor, like
really bad.
And I know that I say this every week, but it is Erling Haaland. It's still Man City, and Kevin De Bruyne is back as well. That could be a huge boost for Erling Haaland. So I'm going to be sticking with him, probably for the worst. But yeah, that's the only real disappointment. I wouldn't say it was a surprise though.
Okay, I'm going to talk about the transfers in, because it's really pleasing to see two players back in the manager's thinking now. They were popular in pre-season, then kind of diverged off for a good while. Is Isak, but more importantly, Ollie Watkins. I know Villa have got some good fixtures coming up. This may have been mentioned earlier in the week by Reedy.
Yeah, it was.
It
does feel a little bit luxurious of a transfer, as Reedy said. I think the issue is that, on paper we think, Nottingham Forest, but then actually with the data we know that Nottingham Forest are actually a good defence. They are a tough nut to crack. Yeah. So I think over the next 4 game weeks, I'm not sure I'd be looking to get in Ollie Watkins. Maybe like in 4 game weeks time, we could think about Ollie Watkins as a very serious option, because the fixtures are great after them. But I'm not sure I'd be actively looking to get him in my team to play against Man City, even though I know they've been poor. I wouldn't be looking to get him in against Newcastle, even though we know that they've been poor. It's one of those where, over the course of the next 3 game weeks, you might just get the 1 goal, maybe. So, but I'm saying it, so he's obviously going to bag a hattie every game. So, yeah.
Is that Saka most transferred in despite having a blank? Yeah, it is, by some margin too. Okay, I'll find that intriguing. All right. Okay. Outside of that, not too many surprises. Smith Rowe, Fulham actually, because I think I've got 2 hard fixtures, but after that, it's not that bad. That's an intriguing one about Emile Smith Rowe. 22% ownership. I thought I froze, but
no, it's think about me, think about you. It's Emile Smith Rowe.
Were you trying to say that behind the mic there?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, of course you were.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair play. Well, shall we have a look at our transfers this week, mate? Let's have a look at our teams and our plans for the next couple of game weeks and who's on our radar.
Would you like to go first, Seth?
Well, last time I went first, you copied my transfer, but you've already promised that you're rolling, so I don't mind.
Well, sure. All right, we'll take turns, because I believe that's important. 1.5 mil in the bank. Well, 1 free transfer, but I think it kind of sorts it out in itself. Actually, we've got a debut this week. We've got Greaves coming on field at home to Bournemouth. I see Bournemouth scoring 3, but not really putting Aina or Mikalenko. Or Aina, I think Man United score. Okay, actually, I need your help. Morgan Rogers, first on field. Now, who do you take out? First on the bench. That's hard.
I think this might be controversial, but Cunha.
Okay.
It's possibly
Okay.
controversial, but I
It
think
is.
Southampton are bad. Villa were looking really good in the last game. Wolves got beat by Everton. That speaks volumes. I'm an Everton fan, and we are terrible. And if you're losing 4-0 to Everton and you're not even managing to score against us, something is seriously wrong. So yeah.
It's good, yeah. Interesting.
But anyway,
Yeah, that's me. I'm sorry, guys, no live transfer.
in fact, I'd be tempted, mate, to play Fabianski.
On field.
Yeah,
Ooh.
over Flecken.
Flicking, yeah, okay.
I'd 100% be playing Fabianski over Flecken this game week if I had the option.
Okay. Sure. All right.
Gary, I am not sure what Rev needs to pray for a PP means. But that sounds rude, sir. Oh, gosh. Hilarious.
That's well for me. So, yeah, guys, that's my team. Rev, you got yours?
Yeah, we do.
Doing any
Got
live
mine
transfers?
loaded up. Let's just pick my team over here. Again, I've got the problem here. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is.
Here we go.
I'm going to bench Cunha.
Right.
And play Rodgers.
Sure.
Just because it's a form thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Total form thing. We're going to captain Erling Haaland. We're going to play Conte. I think maybe Lewis Hall for 8 Nori as well, because again, Newcastle looking like they're in a little bit of a better form than that. I do have Greaves, but I'm not sure who I bench him for. Maybe I bench him for Lewis. Maybe we bench him for Lewis. He was dropped last game week. However, does that mean he starts this week? I don't know. So let's just leave Greaves there in case Lewis doesn't play. Or do we play Greaves? I think it's marginal, and I think I prefer the City player.
Yeah.
But then Jarabone at home, armband on Haaland, and I've made my transfer, which has been Danny Welbeck out and Yao Pedro in.
How much bank now?
It's a very sideways move. 0.3 in the bank.
Okay.
And I've got a free transfer? Do I have a free transfer? Oh, yeah, I do have a free transfer.
Oh, here we go. The dopamine's hit now.
Okay, you know what? If Mira, please don't go just yet. What do I do? Like, you're the only person that I respect right now.
She already left.
Oh, she already left.
No, I don't
know. Okay, I've got 1 free transfer, 0.3 in the bank. Mira, what do I do?
Go on full screen just to sort of see how it is. So, what are you not happy with?
I feel like Bruno's positioning was very concerning.
Okay.
So Bruno might be on the way out.
That's a good game at home to Forest, to be fair.
It is a good game at home to Forest, and I feel like Man United might be a little bit more positive at home.
But
yeah.
If you're at a point where you're not confident in Bruno anymore, where you'd be tempted to him to bench him this weekend just because of that, then it's time to get rid of him. But you're confident to field him?
Against Forest at home, like again, he's not really that much of an issue. Like, I might even be rolling this transfer, you know?
I reckon that's a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Your captaincy would be quite intriguing.
Well, it's Haaland, isn't it? Like, yeah. What do I want to do this week? if I just look at my team here, Hall, Concert, Lewis, that's okay. Palmer, Bowen, Saka, Fernandez, Rogers, that's all right. Yao Pedro and Haaland is fine. Like, the team on paper is good. It's just, do I do something controversial? Do I do something really controversial? I could do something really controversial, which is we could, just have a look at Cunha and say, you know what? Thanks, but no thanks. And we could do some kind of crazy.
Well, you got 7.1.
7.1 here.
I don't think would anymore. I don't think Visser. Your next best bet is probably Evan Nielsen.
And we go for Havertz.
With Jamie Vardy. Do you go Vardy?
Oh no, I can't afford Havertz.
Yeah, no, you can't.
Not unless we downgrade somewhere else with 0.8 in the bank.
Worth doing that, anyways. What's Jamie Vardy like? Because he's under a new manager bounce now.
No thanks. No thanks.
What about a lap? Are you tempted or not?
Who? Sorry.
It's a lap.
No.
No.
It's just that he doesn't have the fixtures either.
Evan Nielsen?
Well, I don't really want this again. Evan Nielsen, like, good option, quite a good option, but again, probably too sideways.
Or is it you're just too tempted to copy me now?
Well, the thing is, like, who do I bench though as well?
Yeah, that's
like.
I know. I think you just roll it, to be honest.
Yeah, fair play. Let's have a look at what they say. I like your team. Bruno, I'm not sure about. Gordon. Anthony Gordon. You know what? See ya. Oh, now that looks naughty. That looks naughty. Look at them fixtures as well from an attacking perspective.
I can't believe what I'm witnessing. You're going to press the trigger. That's the thing. Is he going to press trigger?
Ooh. What do we think, chat? Bruno to Gordon for a free transfer.
Plot twist, Mira has actually left for tennis.
Yeah.
No, I.
You know what? If Mira's made the move,
oh, you're sick.
I've got to do it. I've done it.
Folks,
I've done it. This is out of pure respect for Mira, by the way. Mira's word is gospel right now. It's gospel. Everyone, by the way, go to FPL Mez on YouTube, give her a follow, subscribe to her because she is smashing it this season. Her advice is worth its weight in gold, and I'm following it. That's it.
Wow.
Bruno out, Gordon in. We've sent it.
Well, yeah, look, you certainly have. Grab all the best, I'll tell you what.
And let's, obviously make Palmer the vice captain as well. Just because, he's on pens. Bukayo Saka does do me head in, the fact that he shares his penalties with Erdegaard. That's annoying. That is annoying. So I'm going to go for Palmer on the vice captain.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. Live transfers, guys. Live transfers.
Yeah, and
if that isn't worth a like, I don't know what is.
That's a pretty good one. I've got some work to do on the snippets come tomorrow.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right.
Cool.
Well, we still got work to do. And for me, that's the captain's corner, unless I've forgotten blatantly a certain point on your end.
No. I don't think there's much else to write home about.
Cool. Because I've got, what is it? I've got a couple of points surrounding about 6 captain options. You ready to go?
Let's send it.
Oh, I'd say let's send it. This is your live captain's corner. Well, let's face it, it's live every week. We'll start with Mo Salah, despite the storm warning. He's creating a storm himself. He's already had 10 double-digit hauls this season, 14 games in, 150 fantasy points achieved. Last season, he only managed to muster 9 double-digit hauls. He's already been involved in 72% of Liverpool's goals this season, 13 goals and 9 assists. Bukayo Saka, we're going to go straight down Nando's territory, who's away at West London. He scored in both meetings against Sunday's opponents. In addition, he's already had 2 goals and 4 assists in the last 3 game weeks. In addition, a bit of a surprise one, Fulham are the second worst side for expected goals conceded this season. Erling Haaland, Reb's man. Yes, he's still got faith in robots. 7 goals and 2 assists in his last 7 club appearances for Manchester City. He scored 5 goals in his 4 league appearances against Crystal Palace, and he has scored at Selhurst Park in every possible meeting. Cole Palmer, 21 points in the last 2 game weeks. Last season at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, he managed a goal and an assist. Nicholas Jackson, 8 goals and 3 assists in 6 away appearances. And yes, Colm, you're spot on. He was one that scored a hat-trick at Hotspur Stadium last season. And Ollie Watkins faces a Southampton outfit who've conceded the most chances of any side this season with 58. To everyone out there, best of luck on the captaincy front. And it could prove big because that's the difference between a red and a green arrow, as we saw evidently in the midweek games that have just gone by.
Good shouts there, Chaza, as per.
Yeah.
As per.
Excellent. Well, you wouldn't believe it. This is probably our shortest pod of the season, and fair enough.
Yeah.
24-hour turnaround, 45.
Turnaround's pretty quick, That's how it is, yeah.
Cool. All right.
Really enjoyed everybody's company as well. All the shout out to all the usual suspects. Thanks for joining us. Gary, Mira, Colm, Miriam as well. Captain Naz as well. Absolutely fantastic to have you all. Not Captain Naz, Captain Zap. Fantastic to have you all. Good old Nick in the chat as well. Much love to you all. Absolutely excellent stuff, and appreciate your banter as well. And looking forward to seeing everyone again next time.
Yeah, correct. And I think what was good, just before to end on, it was a different dynamic for this installment, because usually we'd have more talking points, but because we had less, once we started one topic, it created a good snowball effect on just mentioning a plethora of players, and that lasted about 10 minutes, which is actually really, really good. And if you're a Tesco Club card, then you are the real winner of tonight.
Mate, if I get more points this week than I do on my Tesco Club card, I'm going to be having a good time. So,
To all fantasy managers out there, have an absolute ripper time yourself. Catch you this time probably next week for game week 16, and have fun everyone out there. Sort.